It is 11 o'clock. Welcome back in. We are live at Twin Peaks. The doors are open. Folks are being seated. Basketball will tip off coming up in 15 minutes. So come on out to Hoover and join us here at Twin Peaks. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from Tider Insider, Rodney Orr joins us here on Three Man Front. Rodney, I hope you're well on this Thursday.
I'm fantastic. How about you guys?
We are doing very well. We're excited. In the next 15 minutes, March Madness will officially begin in the NCAA tournament. But I have to start off with the shocking news about Aiden Holloway. And I know that's been a hot story on Tider Insider. Just your personal thoughts on what has taken place with this Alabama basketball team.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Obviously, really bad decisions there. Obviously he impacted himself, but also his coaches and the players, his teammates, and all of that. So, obviously it was a, very poor decision that he made. And, now he's going to pay the consequences, and it, certainly could help hurt this basketball team moving forward. You're talking about the second leading scorer. He's the best three-point shooter for the last 11 games. He's been the leading scorer. So you really lose a guy on the court that you could have used. But fortunately, it seems like they've got pretty good depth, obviously, with Philon and Reitzel and, some of the other guys that can play that position. And then Amari Allen, I think, with his versatility, being able to play out on the perimeter and handle the ball certainly could kind of help with that loss.
When you look at trying to replace that production, and you just kind of went through a variety of different players in different ways that Alabama can get it done, who would be the most obvious choice, though, as far as replacing that production and, in turn, maybe picking up their game?
Who I really like is Millett, Houston Millett. I mean, this guy brings a lot of energy. He brings a lot of passion. He's a leader. You can just tell, the leadership that he brings to the team. So I think that Houston Millett could be a guy to really watch in this opportunity for him. I didn't mention his name earlier, but I just think he's a guy that I would keep an eye on. I like what he brings from an intensity standpoint.
As far as the subscribers to Tider Insider and looking at the message boards and just the people you talk to around the program, I mean, I think we can all identify that this perhaps is not a Final Four-like team, but you look back when they made the Final Four, they were a 4 seed. They were a 4 seed this year. What's the overall opinion from the folks that you talk to? How deep can this team go?
Look, I think that realistically, I mean, if you just look at it, I could not see them really going past the Sweet 16 because I would expect they'll meet Michigan. They would meet Michigan there. Obviously, they have to get by Hofstra, which I don't think has lost a game since January 29th, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And then they would play the winner of Texas Tech Akron, and Akron's 29-4. They've got a really good team. We know about Texas Tech. They've been really good in recent years too. So it's going to be a challenge just to get there to the Sweet 16 at this point. I felt like all along, even when things were seemingly going well with this team on that roll that they were on, and still kind of on it. They've still won 9 of the last 11. But I felt like that the Sweet 16 would ultimately probably be the ceiling of this team, and I would still say that would probably be it.
Would Florida be your obvious choice to be that team from the SEC to make the deep run, or do you potentially see another dark horse after watching the action in Nashville last weekend?
You would think so. I mean, obviously, Arkansas, came on in the tournament. Obviously, they can score a lot of points, man. A-Cuff is something special, and you never know when you have a special player like that, what can happen. But, yeah, I would say I would have probably agree with what you said. The expectation would certainly be on Florida.
All right, let's talk a little football, Rodney. I know the football team, because it is spring break, there is no spring practice, but just your overall impressions of week 1 of spring drills, some of the big storylines or some players that really stood out to you?
Things that we've heard, starting with the quarterbacks, because I know it's obviously something that people like to talk about. It's a competition between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Everybody knows that. And, the feedback we got from people that were there, that observed all the practices, it just seems like that the confidence is very, very high in both of those guys in terms of their elite passers. I mean, these are guys that you hear the buzz. They're future NFL quarterbacks. They're elite passers. It's going to be a tough decision eventually when it has to be made between the two. And, but maybe Austin Mack right now might have the inside track just from the standpoint of being able to manage the offense. He's been in it 3 years, from going on 4. So he's been in the system a little bit longer. But, again, hearing a lot of positive things about those guys. And my next question was, okay, well, can the offensive line block for them? Can they protect them?
Yeah.
And it's just really early to tell. But, they're moving some pieces around. They've got some very talented guys up front. So I think it is promising. I tell you one thing I have heard, Landrum and Pat, is just in terms of the running backs. There was a lot of talk last year about, hey, they were missing pass protections and all of this. And I think that's still an area that they have to take a big step, it sounds like, from things I've heard. I think the wide receiver core, they feel good about those guys. I think on the defensive side, you're replacing all those guys up front on the defensive line. And I think with Terrence Green, Kedrick Bingley-Jones, Devin Tompkins, those guys, there's a pretty good solid degree of confidence that they're going to be, really good up there. I think the one thing, though, that really stands out as a question mark on that side of the ball is you just lost so much experience at the inside backer spot. I was talking to one guy one source there at practice who said, look, not only did you lose experience, but some of these younger players still look a bit smallish for SEC inside linebackers. So, and again, it's one guy's perspective, but it did catch my attention. But otherwise, in the secondary, they're loaded. I'm hearing great things about Jair Edwards, the freshman safety from Baltimore. But one source I spoke to said, as good as he is, he said the corner from Marietta, Georgia, was a 5-star as well. Jordan Edmonds is a guy that's he is on a level that one source compared to Patrick Surtain.
Wow.
In terms of how when Patrick Surtain came in as a freshman.
Sure.
He's on that level. So, there's been some positive buzz. And I'll say this too, guys. We had a 10 or 12-minute viewing period last week, and I thought physically they look pretty good on the hoof. Now, I know there's some people that question the strength and conditioning for whatever reasons, but I can just say that they look good physically. How it relates to the field, don't know, but they do certainly look like they put in a lot of work in the weight room.
Rodney, and we told you, and I know a lot of Alabama fans feel the same, really excited about E.J. Crowell. He was limited during spring practice with a little bit of something that was nagging him. But what's the buzz from there? Folks inside the program just putting eyes on him and being around him here in the last couple of months.
Special talent. He's got all the tools. Needs a lot of reps, certainly. And again, I didn't hear anything specifically about him in pass protection, just more or less heard about the group as a whole, that there needed somebody that could really pick up the blitz and do the pass protections and all of those things that you do without the ball. But yes, I think there's a lot of excitement. And by the way, I did lay my eyes on him too. He does not look like I guess he's 17 years old because he should only be a junior in high school. He does not look like a junior in high school. He looks more like a junior in college physically. He's about 5'11", he's 220, and, he's thick. Mm-hmm. He is. And I will say this, too, and I don't know if I said this last week or not, I can't remember, but Daniel Hill has made tremendous strides physically.
Didn't you say he dropped some weight?
Definitely dropped some weight. I thought, and I was just going on the listings from the weights on the roster, and I said about 10 pounds. He looked like more than that. Now it comes out he's probably closer to 18, 20 pounds. And I'm telling you, his feet looked a lot quicker. He looked really good, again, physically. And I think the backs as a whole. And I'll tell you another group that caught my attention, too. These tight ends are very impressive. Josh Ford, the transfer from Oklahoma State, 6'6", 260 or plus, can get down the field, can catch the ball. Caleb Edwards has certainly he's a special talent. And I think, Marshall Pritchett, Max Suter, the freshman. So it's a good-looking group. Now, how it transfers, we'll see. But I think they certainly look good on the hoof.
That is Rodney Orr. Joins us every Thursday here on the program. Happy March Madness, Rodney. Enjoy the weekend. I'm sure the message boards will be nice and quiet come tomorrow afternoon when Alabama takes the court.
Well, as I always say, let's hope so.
Oh, well. All right, Rodney. Have a great weekend. We'll check in with you next week.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much. That is Rodney Orr from Tider Insider. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Tell you about them all the time. Mandu in downtown Homewood, electrical muscle stimulation strength training. It operates on the principle that electricity powers the human body, but instead of waiting for your brain to send an electrical signal to muscle telling it to contract, Mandu uses a specially designed suit fitted with carbon fiber electrodes to generate a low-level electrical impulse for you. What does all of that mean? It means that Mandu works. I've done it. Damian Mitchell has done it. So many of our Jocks listeners have done it. It's boutique fitness at its finest. Your first visit's free. They'll put you through that workout, but and it's not even a catch. Here's the great thing about Mandu. It's 15 minutes. 15-minute workout because of all of that technology that's FDA approved is equivalent to 6 hours in a gym. Claim the free session today. Downtown Homewood, you go through the 15-minute workout free to you. You decide if Mandu is right for you. I promise if you stick with Mandu after you try it, you're going to get results. MANDUU.com. The first visit's free. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Jock sent you.
Coming up next on Three Man Front, we head to Tampa, Florida, the side of the Alabama Crimson Tide taking on Hofstra tomorrow. The voice of the Tide, Chris Stewart, joins us next. Welcome back into Three-Man Front. We are live at Twin Peaks in Hoover. We're just moments away from the first game tipping off today of the NCAA tournament. Jamie Dixon leading his TCU Horned Frogs. 10th season as the TCU head coach. Man, it doesn't seem that long, does it?
No, it doesn't. Jamie Dixon, he was at Pitt, right?
Yep.
Back in
Did a good job there.
Was that replacing Ben Howland after he left? But Jamie Dixon, he's got that resting, I am really upset at somebody face.
So they're the number 9 seed, 22-11 on the season, about to tip off against number 8 Ohio State. The Buckeyes 21-12 on the season. So this will be an interesting matchup between the two. This is Jake Diebler. This is his 3rd season at the helm for the Buckeyes. Someone that took over now. I'll be the first one to admit, did not think he was going to be there very long, but he's done a nice job getting him to the big dance this year.
Yeah, he has. In Ohio State, they've been up and down. Do we get the better Ohio State today? It remains to be seen. But Conrad, he threw out that 18-10, 9 versus 8 record.
It's a good one. So this game will tip off, and they're underway now. And then the Nebraska Cornhuskers. How you feeling, Molly? You're all geared up, ready to go.
I'm nervous, but I'm good, but I'm just nervous.
Ohio State's up early, 3-0.
Yes.
Does not look good for TCU.
I'm hoping my headband will bring some luck, though.
Are you saving the mouthpiece until 11:40?
Yes.
Might be tough for you to eat lunch.
Well, the mouthpiece is if it starts to get really bad.
Ah.
Yeah. That way I can't bite my nails.
I didn't bring your stress ball, so
Dang it.
I'll bring it tomorrow.
I'll figure it out. It's okay. I have this water bottle.
That'll help.
Yeah. We're going to catch up with Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, in just a matter of moments. He's down in Tampa, Florida. Be interesting to get the read on this basketball team, Landrum. I was told they had a really good practice before the team headed down to Tampa. We'll see if this basketball team, and he joins us now each and every week. Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, brought to you by Craneworks.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah, the big dog's got it.
Crimson Tide Network's Chris Stewart on Three-Man Front is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Chris Stewart.
And Chris Stewart joins us live from Tampa, Florida on the Higginbotham Hotline. How's the weather, Chris?
Oh, my goodness, is it fantastic. I'm so glad I'm not in Portland or Buffalo. It is awesome. I take that. Well, yes, I'm glad I'm not in Buffalo. Buffalo would have been cool because of the homecoming, if you will, for Nate. I'm happy for Brian Hodgson that he's getting that. That's truly his hometown. So that's even a better storyline. But Tampa, this time of year, I hear is lovely, and that's because it is, and I can tell you firsthand it's a great place to be.
We found out when they were hosting the Super Bowl, Chris, that it's never been a documented weather day of over 100 degrees down there, which is interesting. But I have to know,
that is interesting.
Burns Steakhouse, have you been to Burns already on your trip?
Last night. That's where we it was our first night in town, and yes, we got Burns checked off the list, and it was outstanding.
Well, Chris, let's get the awkward part of this interview out of the way early in regards to Aiden Holloway. In regards to this basketball team, they've had to deal with a lot this year, from injuries to the Bediako situation, and now their second leading scorer is out for the foreseeable future. Your thoughts on that? Not from what happened to him. I'm talking about on the court. How does it affect this Alabama basketball team?
Well, you lose arguably your third most important player. He has had some great games, some great moments. He's a really popular young man on the roster, extremely likable. So all of those pieces are very tough to replicate. But if there is a position where you can afford to have somebody who has all of those qualities missing, it's there because it's a deep guard slot. Latrell Reisel whether Holloway was playing or not, we need Latrell to play better than he did last game, obviously. But when you talk about having Latrell, Amari Allen, London Jemison, um, Houston Millette, Jalil Bethia, and of course the point guard in LeBaron Philon, in the style in which Nate Oates plays, the positionless basketball. Again, it's not unusual to have, you know, a guard come in and replace Aiden Sherrill or Taylor Bowen or whoever the big may be. It's not a standard five replacing a five or a two replacing a two or whatever when they make substitutions. It could be anything based on what Nate wants to see with matchup. So you've got an opportunity there to collectively pick up the slack, which is what they're obviously going to have to do. But really, guys, with injuries and other situations, they've had to do that the majority of the season anyway. So, again, I'm not by any stretch saying that it's ideal and it's no big deal, but it is. It's a team that's it's gone 23-9 this year without any real consistency within the lineup all season long.
You mentioned that, and Chris, agree, it's not ideal, but you got other guys that can pick up that production that Aiden Holloway leaves. What would be the stat line that you think that Nate Oates and that staff are emphasizing the most to this team heading into the game?
Well, win or lose, with him or without him, it was going to be rebounding, because that has been a major issue for a good bit of the season, especially the games in which Alabama's, been on the wrong end of the score. So I don't think there's any doubt that they want to see this team get the job done on the glass, and they've got to do that if they want to advance, and certainly if they want to advance to the next round. They have barely out-rebounded opponents based on per-game average, and in the losses, quite often they've been dominated there. So you've got to be better in that sense if you want to be a team that's playing in another Sweet 16 or beyond.
Chris, in regards to what happened up in Nashville, what was the most concerning moving forward, hoping that Alabama will correct that issue in Nashville against Ole Miss?
I think understanding the sense of urgency you've got to have right out of the gate, or even if you do understand it, respond to it. They were exactly who Nate Oates told them they were going to be, talking about Ole Miss. They were coming off of 2 straight games in which they had not trailed. They jumped at Alabama right out of the gate, and you're having to play catch up, and you never did. I think there were maybe 2 ties, but never a lead. So one of the big reasons that Ole Miss was as good as they were in getting to the semifinals is they played from ahead. They played from a place of confidence. And so the fatigue that could have certainly set in by the time they played Alabama never did, because they had momentum. If you could have jumped on them early, gotten them down, and made them mentally as well as physically fatigued, that thing probably looks different. And yes, Alabama battled and had a chance to win it at the end, couldn't get it done, but it wasn't so much the last 30 seconds, it was more so the first 3 minutes that I thought set the tone for that one.
Coaches and team are not supposed to look ahead, Chris, but we know doing what you do, and that's a pretty quick turnaround and a quicker study with 2 other potential opponents should Alabama knock off Hofstra, Akron, and Texas Tech. How much of a study and any impressions coming away immediately from those 2 teams?
I couldn't give you a ton, but I will say that even though Texas Tech has been good and they've got a really good resume, Akron is the one that I think in watching shows and commentary and people that follow it more closely than I, they're all of the opinion that the Zips may be the team to look out for the most in one of those high seed, low seed matchups, because this is a team that I think has won north of 25 games. I don't have it right in front of me, but they've been really good, and they've got some veterans that play with a lot of poise, talented, and feel like they belong, and probably feel like they should be seated higher than they are. So I think it'll be a very tough matchup for Texas Tech, and hopefully the same for Alabama, whether it is Akron or whether it is Texas Tech. But it's that one will be very interesting to watch for sure.
Well, Chris, we're always happy to catch up with you. And, of course, this is a big week for Alabama basketball, tipping off tomorrow afternoon. But thanks to David Upton and Craneworks, they bring us the opportunity each and every week.
They do. And first of all, I apologize to you guys for not communicating sooner about the travel issue with the time. But I appreciate your patience, and I do appreciate Craneworks, who's got obviously their primary division that people know of, which has the name Craneworks, but they've also got Rental Works and Waste Works, and we're getting to the spring cleaning time or clean out time, and Waste Works, which is a Craneworks company, provides roll-off dumpster rentals in the Birmingham area. They got a range of sizes and fast service, and they're your local source for dumpster rentals. Visit wasteworksusa.com to get a quote.
That is Chris Stewart, voice of the Tide. Chris, have a great call tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully it'll be a long weekend in Tampa, and we'll catch up with you next Wednesday.
Thanks, Chris.
Guys, I appreciate y'all. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris. Chris joined us on the Higginbotham hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
We got cheese bites in hand here at Twin Peaks in Hoover. We got the cold 22-ounce, ice-cold 22-ounce Budweiser Bud Light Draft. You can come and enjoy it. All the tournament action. We got a game on right now. We got another game that's going to tip here in just a few minutes. Wall-to-wall action. It's all basketball. It's all three-man front, live from Twin Peaks in Hoover here on Jocks.
We are tipped off. We've got live basketball action going on right now as the 9-seed TCU up early over the 8-seed 14-9, 11:46 to go in the opening half. What kind of trends are you seeing, Landrum? What do you like? What do you dislike from this Horned Frog offense?
I like TCU. Looks like they're the more physical team, believe it or not, against a Big Ten team like Ohio State. Ohio State, after knocking down that first shot from the outside, struggled a little bit, went on a stretch in a drought. You can't do that against this TCU team. Right now, TCU, I am glad that I picked the Horned Frogs. They lead early, 14-11, with 11 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the first half.
I, too, took the Horned Frogs in my bracket. We are about 15 minutes away from Nebraska tipping off. The Cigar Cowboy showed up moments ago. And go ahead and break the news about we've got a little rivalry going.
Cigar Cowboy just revealed to us that he is a graduate of Troy University.
That's right.
That's okay.
Nebraska taking on Troy.
We are in Alabama, so it's, they're everywhere.
No, we are. Yeah, they're everywhere. But Nebraska's trying to do something for Molly that they've never done in her lifetime, or a lot of other Nebraska fans.
Or any lifetime.
Or
yeah.
any lifetime of any former Nebraska
of any
fans
kind.
who are no longer with us.
Of anyone's life.
Of anyone's
They've
life.
never won an NCAA tournament game, people.
Never.
And she's all dressed up, and she's all
I got my lucky
ready. She's
headband on.
She's done her stretches. And she's got her mouthpiece in, and unfortunately, we've seen this story unfold too many times.
Oh, I have too.
It ends in heartbreak.
Yeah.
And some words that she customarily doesn't say.
Our good friend Brett Norsworthy was texting with me this morning, and he wanted me to extend a Go Huskers to you.
Really? Thanks, Brett.
He did.
Go Big Red.
Yeah, you and your parents, when you were in Memphis,
we saw him.
Got an opportunity to hang out with
Yes.
In the spirit of equality, Cigar Cowboy, go Trojans. Go Trojans.
He said go Trojans.
That's your mascot. Or to claim your school.
Oh, Brett texted me.
Did he really?
Yeah. He said, love the wall bracket. Go Big Red. Yeah.
There you go. See? You do have allies. I mean, none that you work with, but there are people.
But there are people.
No, we're definitely here for the train wreck.
That reminds me, I was driving the other day. I feel bad because I scared this poor woman. She was right in front of me while we were driving, and she had a Nebraska tag and a Nebraska sticker on her car.
Did you
of
get
course
really
I'm freaking
close?
out. Well, I happened to be turning, and the lights were red, so I had to get in the lane next to her. And her windows were rolled down, and my windows were rolled down. I yelled, "Go Big Red!" And she looks at me, she goes, "Are you a Husker?" And I said, "Yes, I'm a." Oh my gosh, it was the best day ever.
Y'all should have swapped numbers. Y'all could have
We
started a fan
should've.
club.
We could have been
She could be
friends.
here. That could be part of the watch party.
Maybe she's listening. If you're out there, go Big Red.
Thank you, Ray.
But
Just
yeah,
got
made
lined
my
up.
day. She was like, "I'm from Lincoln," and I was like, "Well, I'm not. I just went to school here." So.
Is there a stat line that you're looking for Nebraska today? They like a certain number of threes that they need to make?
I mean, I would like for them to cover. That would really make me feel good.
Well,
but
listen
I
to
don't think
you.
that's going to happen.
Listen to you. Uncle Pat has worn off on you.
Yeah.
You need to stay away from him in that betting.
I don't.
Molly, I
just
told you, don't do it.
I know I don't. I just look at the
He's a veteran,
lines.
and his
Yeah.
bankroll looks different than yours.
Very, very different.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so Troy, Nebraska, they're going to tip off in literally 5 minutes from now. Then South Florida and Louisville, they'll be at 12:30 tip local time, and Wisconsin and High Point at 12:50. So a good morning session.
Man, is High
here.
Point, that's the school that's got the ice cream and the steakhouse.
They have the steakhouse you can take the etiquette lessons at. Yeah.
Hey, where did I get the ice cream? They have an ice cream truck that's there on
just-
campus?
Yeah, it just goes around everywhere.
Man,
Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
like
go to
free
High
ice
Point.
cream. It's like Alabama football practice.
But, those are the things that we've learned about High Point from their repeated appearances in the NCAA tournament. We learned that as one of our March Madness facts last year.
Not to mention the fact they have just a beautiful arena that they play in. UAB played up there a couple years ago. High Point beat UAB, but, man, Andy Kennedy just went on. And watching the broadcast, it was pretty impressive what they have there.
How about the local tie that you were showing me with McNeese, who's going to be in action later on today?
That's right, head coach Bill Armstrong. That is a familiar name here in the Metro Birmingham area. Grew up in the Birmingham area. I know our own Ryan Haney grew up with Bill Armstrong. Bill was also longtime assistant coach with Andy Kennedy at Ole Miss and UAB, and getting his opportunity now as the head coach at McNeese.
I've just had something submitted by Cigar Cowboy, the proud Troy Trojan graduate. He just passed along a note, and he said, I think that me and Molly should bet. We should have a bet for this
no,
game.
I don't do bets. No.
No
Because
bet.
I always lose.
She always loses. So I have to give her credit. She understands to cut it off before it gets started.
And I would take her place on the bet, Cigar Cowboy, but I don't have that much faith in the Nebraska.
Like I said, I love my Cornhuskers, but they have let me down way too many times to make a bet.
I think Conrad needs to be the one. I think he needs to be the surrogate, right, for this bet.
Yes.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I heard
The
surrogate.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how that works, but I don't think I can do that.
What did he say?
You handle the show, and I'll get the bet for him.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is this with?
This is with Cigar Cowboy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't bet, though.
No. Conrad,
Oh,
as a
okay.
good teammate,
Thank you.
he would take the bet for you.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No, it's what you just said. No, that's what we're talking about. Cigar Cowboy has got a wager opportunity with Molly.
Look, you got to take this bet.
What
Okay.
is it?
I've negotiated it for you.
Okay.
10%. I want 10%.
Oh, is there money involved?
If Nebraska wins, and they're the favorite,
Yes.
he buys you a steak dinner.
Oh, okay.
If Troy wins, he gets a hug.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a
What?
winner.
I want that bet.
You don't get those kind of bets.
Why do
Yeah,
I not
kinda.
get those kind of bets?
Well, I mean, there's obvious
He
reasons.
probably doesn't want a hug from you, number one.
I like hugs.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a deal. There you go.
Did you bring any of those fancy sticks with you, Cigar Cowboy? The sticks. Oh. Yeah.
No.
I like to smell them.
Hey, so was this they got a cover or just
Just win.
No, it's just easy. This
Oh,
is easy
okay.
peasy.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks.
Oh, it's easy.
Molly's
take
like,
that
hey,
back.
thanks for the steak.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
now
we have
she's-
to win first,
well, now
though.
she's
Well,
getting cocky,
he did
see?
mention to me, he said, it looks like we need to feed her a little more. She's looking a little
Thanks.
skinny there in her Nebraska basketball uniform.
Yeah, I don't fill it out.
She's wiry.
We need to get some
plays good
nutrition in that
defense.
girl.
She plays good defense.
I do.
Yeah.
I can see little Molly just doing defensive slides, palms up.
Yeah.
Come on.
I wish you guys could have seen me trying to play basketball with my brother's friends when they were about 10 years older than me and about a foot and a half taller than me.
We've heard about your soccer story of you
Oh,
dancing
it's
by
not
yourself.
Good. Yeah.
Were you the one when you would get in your defensive stance, you'd slap the hardwood,
Yes,
like out of
yes.
intimidation for everybody?
Hey, you know what she'd do? She'd spit on her hands and rub the bottom of her shoes.
That's exactly right.
Did you see Molly doing that?
I'm quite the athlete.
Yeah. Come on, guys, lock them down.
I mean, with the headband on, you're pretty intimidating, to be
Thank
honest
you.
with you. I've had a couple of people, listeners say, hey, I was wanting to come by and say hello to Molly, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I need to.
What's funny is I would wear these headbands when I would play soccer. Like this is what I would wear. Not like this, like an actual the way you're supposed to wear them, but you know.
Oh. Okay.
Other than showing patriotism, I don't think I've ever purposely wore a sweatband.
Well, I wouldn't like they weren't sweatbands; they were legit headbands.
Oh, like a headband.
Yeah, like
That's more of a
girls will
girl
wear to
thing.
push their hair back and yeah.
I mean, you didn't wear a do-rag when you were in college?
No, I did not. I didn't wear Daisy Dukes either.
You didn't?
No.
Well, I know Conrad
that was,
did. Conrad was very popular at Alabama wearing those Daisy Dukes.
Can you tell me this? Why was there a shortage of fabric back in the day of John Stockton and all of those guys? What was America clamoring for pasty white legs and short shorts on men?
No, that was just a style. Well, then it went the exact opposite. Then you wore them down to your ankles.
Yeah, and then you
Remember
had I remember Arkansas being one of the first.
Yeah.
Looked like pajama pants.
Who was the major league team that tried out the shorts, Pat?
It was the Chicago White Sox.
The
Yeah.
White Sox. Okay.
Yep. Yep, the collared jerseys and the shorts.
Today, Fred gets Huskers' first NCAA tourney dub.
Do you know any of those people that's showing up on TV?
I don't. Hey, he's got a corn head on.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear yours.
Yeah.
Well, no, I have my headband on. Oh, wait.
Let's see. Faye says, I'm with my girl Molly. Go Cornhuskers.
Yes.
Oh, Faye's in your corner.
Thanks.
And
Faye.
Faye, she adds, never trust a Trojan.
That's
Faye.
That is fantastic.
Oh, that's good. That
is fantastic.
To all the girls in the beauty parlor, we said hello.
She said, never trust a Trojan?
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's literally what she said.
That she did say that.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth?
I don't know if that one applies the same way.
It doesn't.
Yeah, bit odd. All right, when we come back on three-man front, we're about to tip off at another location of the NCAA tournament as the Nebraska Cornhuskers are tipping off as we speak.
There's my twin!
Against Troy. We will keep you updated there. Meanwhile, TCU's up 14-13 over Ohio State. This is three-man front live at Twin Peaks.
Nebraska looks white and slow. Why are we playing the Iowa Hawkeye fight
Wrong.
song? Oh, it's not. Three-man front, we're live from Twin Peaks here in Hoover. A lot of our friends have joined us. Folks are filing in to watch one of the many televisions, 7 new TVs that they have here at Twin Peaks, featuring 2 85-inch TVs. So it's like you're there at the scores table sitting down and there's a 7-footer hovering over you ready to check in when you're watching these TVs, Pat.
It really does. They've added 7 new televisions here at Twin Peaks. So just when you thought, hey, There's not an angle that I can't see a basketball game. They added 7 more. So come on out, get the coldest beer in town. $3.97 for a Bud Light and Budweiser 22-ounce. And come enjoy some of the best food you're going to find in Birmingham right here at Twin Peaks and Hoover.
That's right. Updating you on action, a game that we're paying close attention to. Molly's Nebraska Cornhuskers seeking their first ever NCAA tournament win, playing on the Troy Trojans. Repeat trip for Troy. Troy leading 6-4 early, 16.5 left in the first half, and Troy has just added a 3 from the corner, 9-4. Trojans leading in this bet that we have between Cigar Cowboy and Molly. Cigar Cowboy right now holding a 5-point edge. It's a straight up, which is a good bet, and it should favor Molly. But Nebraska was doing very Nebraska-like things early, Molly.
Well, Troy's shooting 75% from the field, and Nebraska is 0 for 3 from deep. So
not good. A lot of game left, though.
A lot of game.
Yes.
Slap the floor.
35 minutes left. You've got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Meanwhile, in the other game, TCU and Ohio State, they've been going back and forth. That was the first game that tipped off today. Coming up after this Nebraska game, in about 20 minutes from now, we'll have another game tipped off, and that's number 6 Louisville taking on the 11 seed South Florida up in Buffalo. So that would, a lot of people think that the 11 seed South Florida, who we saw up close and personal in the American Conference this year, they're a very good team. There was a lot of people that believed that if they would have lost the championship game in the American Landrum, that they would have been given an at-large selection for the tournament. That's the kind of team that South Florida has. So we'll see indeed if they pull the upset today. It's only a 4.5 to 5 point spread for Louisville. That has definitely come down.
Yeah, and they got Michael Brown. That is not available for them. So it was already going to be a tough matchup when you look at what South Florida does, but even tougher without one of your top producers on the offensive end.
All right, let's go now to our good friend Rob Pate, former Auburn DB. He joins the show on this March Madness beginning of this Thursday. Rob, I hope you're doing well. Hope your brackets are all ready to go.
They're ready, man. They're ready. We'll see if Troy can pull through here.
The disrespect.
Molly.
Wow, I'm so upset.
Oh, Molly, I forgot. That's right. Hey, listen, it's just the in-state team there, Molly.
I'll remember that. No, I'll remember that.
Wow. Rob, did you have any idea that Nebraska never in their history has won an NCAA tournament game?
Ever.
Yeah, I did hear that, and I think Molly actually told me that on the phone recently.
It's probably like every Thursday she tells you that.
That's her opening line to everyone.
Yeah, well, completely forgot about that, Molly. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So does everyone in your house do a bracket? Does your wife do a bracket? Do all your kids do a bracket?
Well,
where do you
listen,
guys stand on that?
Before, I mean, the faux outrage from Molly for her team being, I mean, she knows that I'm an Auburn guy, right? Like, we live in misery through athletics. So, I mean, we get our hearts stomped on almost every season. So, I don't feel a ton of sympathy, although I should have been more careful with my pick there, I guess.
Nah,
but
not
yeah,
at all.
our kids definitely get into it, and even our staff at Sweet Frog got into it and have a little competition going. So yeah, it's an exciting time. I hate that Auburn got left out, and for a long time this wasn't something that we were participating in very often, and then really got spoiled under Bruce Pearl of having teams that were there and competed well, and excited for the time, but hate that our team's not in it.
Rob Pate joining us, talking Auburn basketball and football in just a moment, and he joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Your best guess, Auburn still alive in the NIT. Keyshawn Murphy opting out. I know you probably have some thoughts about that, but past this season and past this appearance in the NIT, how much belief do you think that there is among the Auburn fan base and folks you talk to, and Stephen Pearl, number one, and coming back for season 2? And also, when you look at the roster, what changes need to be made?
Oh, man. At first, the Stephen Pearl issue, I think, is a mixed bag here in town, and just with Auburn faithful in general. I think most people thought enough of Bruce Pearl that and think that his recommendation of Steven would be something that would be highly considered. And I just think most people want to see better sideline demeanor, want to see a team that doesn't fall apart at the end of the season. I mean, they really looked the part at the beginning of the year and then just couldn't maintain that. And I think in large part that, of course the coach is going to get the blame, but they only played 7 guys for the most part all year. And so you kind of wondered if they were going to be able to hold up in SEC play because they just didn't have much depth. And definitely have to get better inside. Our big guy presence, those guys played hard, competed hard, but, night in and night out, you just got to have more dominant rim protection. And we got to play better defense, which was his calling card. And I think that's a source of frustration for people that Auburn defensively was very poor when that's what he hangs his hat on. So it's going to be a rebuild, no doubt. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Rob, spring practice got underway this week, and no big surprise because of obviously 14 transfers from South Florida, the majority of those guys on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of rave reviews as media got an opportunity to watch a little bit of practice, and obviously Byron Brown, the offense, a lot of people, they like what they saw. What are you hearing very early on during this spring camp?
Not much. I mean, just the expectations that those guys from South Florida, particularly Brown, comes in and sort of shows these guys what the expectations are for practice, what the expectations are off the field, that those guys provide great leadership, and just kind of, show the guys that have been at Auburn for a while but not played for this coaching staff what's demanded of them. And I think that they're doing that well. I probably heard more about the throwing motion of Byron Brown more than I did anything else after the first day, which it did look funky. I'll admit that it did look elongated and looked like it took a long time to get the ball out, but it doesn't seem to have been something that's affected his production. So I have no worries about that. But just excited to see how these guys come together. It's a process, and this coaching staff, we've gone 2 coaches now, head coaches that have said all the right things, and now this is a 3rd coach that's saying all the right things in the press conference, seems to have the pulse of Auburn, and we've seen that the last 2 coaches. Can we get it done on game day, and can it translate to what we see in production on the field? And that's what people, I think, are still waiting to see.
Well, quickly, before we let you go, at least you got a top 5 baseball team that you can celebrate, and what Butch Thompson and his Tigers are doing.
Oh, no doubt. Man, they are playing fantastic ball, and a lot of young kids stepping in, playing. Pitching staff has been phenomenal. Got a huge weekend with Texas coming to town. Huge weekend in Auburn in general with, just a lot of events happening, and so it's exciting. And we just got to get that basketball team back to what we've come to expect this time of year.
Are you going to be courtside Sunday night for the NIT?
I don't know, man. I would love to be. We'll see. I've heard Seattle is a big team, got a big inside presence, so that could be a very difficult matchup for Auburn.
It should be a good one. That is Rob Pate, Entrepreneur of the Year down in Lee County.
Heck yeah.
Go by and see him and his fine folks there at Sweet Frog. Waiting. You still got that frosted?
Oh yeah, man. That started this week. We'll have it for at least a month.
A month. Okay.
So come get some frosted animal cookies. Frosted animal cookies.
That's good stuff. Rob, you and your family enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Just so you know, Troy leading Nebraska 10-9 early on.
Yeah.
Let's go, Trojans.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, thanks.
That is Rob Pate. Coming up, we'll give you an update on Molly Robinson. She is having a conniption fit as we speak.
Settle down, Molly. We're in public.
Yeah. Come see us. We're at Twin Peaks in Hoover.